Are investigating now the shocking deaths of legendary director Rob Reiner and his wife, Michelle, found dead in their Los Angeles home yesterday.
For decades, Rob Reiner stood as one of Hollywood's most trusted voices, the son of Carl Reiner, raised on creativity, discipline, and legacy. To the world, his life looked complete, but behind the quiet doors of a Brentwood, Los Angeles home, a darker story was unfolding. One conversation, one warning nearly went unheard. Tracy Reiner now reveals the chilling truth. Nick Reiner told her why he did it, and in that moment, she realized she was in danger too. This isn't just a Hollywood tragedy. It's a story about ignored signs, family silence, and the terrifying cost of not acting in time. On December 14, 2025, that private struggle exploded into a devastating public nightmare. That afternoon, police responded to an emergency call at the Reiner residence. Inside the bedroom, officers discovered Rob Reiner and his wife, producer Michelle Singer Reiner, brutally killed. The medical examiner later confirmed multiple sharp force injuries. The case was immediately classified as a homicide. The news stunned Hollywood. Tributes poured in. Shock rippled through the industry. But for Tracy Reiner, their daughter, the pain was deeply personal and layered with unbearable realization. In the days that followed, Tracy began connecting moments she could no longer ignore. Just 1 week earlier, she had experienced a conversation that now haunts her. In early December, Tracy met privately with her younger brother, Nick Reiner, inside the guest house behind their parents' home. Nick had been staying there temporarily after another period of instability. According to Tracy, he contacted her urgently, asking to speak alone. The atmosphere was tense from the start. Nick did not ease into the conversation. He immediately asked for money, a large amount, and said he needed it right away. He never gave a number, only urgency, only pressure. When Tracy asked what was wrong, Nick admitted his debts were out of control. He paced relentlessly, his restrained voice heavy with years of frustration. What frightened Tracy most was his cold shift toward Rob and Michelle, speaking as if they had ruled his life too long. His clenched hands and sudden closeness signaled danger. Then her phone rang. She answered immediately, stood up, made an excuse, and left without hesitation. As she walked to her car, her hands were shaking. That fear followed her home and lingered for days. She debated telling her parents, but hesitated. Christmas was approaching. The family was already under strain. She feared she might be overreacting. On December 14th, she learned she was not. Looking back, Tracy believes that conversation was not about money. It was the surface of something far deeper, a collapse that had been building for decades. Nick Reiner did not suddenly unravel in 2025. According to Tracy, the warning signs were present from his teenage years. Raised in Los Angeles, Nick grew up with comfort and opportunity, but also struggled with boundaries and impulse control. As a teenager, he gravitated toward risky behavior, stayed out late, and distanced himself from structure. Over the years, the Reiner family sent Nick to multiple rehabilitation centers across California. Each return sparked hope. Each relapse deepened disappointment. In a 2016 NPR interview, Nick admitted he despised ordinary life. Addiction later expanded to gambling, costing tens of thousands. Brief stability came in 2015 while working on Being Charlie, a film that echoed his inner battle. But peace never lasted. Each relapse returned stronger than before. For Rob and Michelle Reiner, parenting became an ongoing emotional battlefield. Their home transformed into a center for therapy appointments, emergency calls, and painful decisions. They consulted psychologists, doctors, and support programs. They rearranged careers. They exhausted resources. They did not hide the struggle. According to Tracy, her parents believed protecting their child mattered more than image. A yoga instructor, Alana Zell, later recalled Nick's emotional outbursts during sessions at the home. What stood out was not the outbursts, but the fact that Rob and Michelle stayed. They did not abandon him. They waited until he calmed down. Even when experts disagreed on how strict they should be, Rob and Michelle never fully closed the door. When Nick left home, they stayed connected through friends. They waited for messages confirming he was alive. There were nights they did not sleep. Over time, the strain fractured the family. By 2018, Nick's financial dependence began affecting everyone. Family gatherings were filled with tension instead of warmth. Romy Reiner, who lived closest to her parents, witnessed their exhaustion firsthand and gradually distanced herself, not out of resentment, but fear. Jake Reiner withdrew into silence. Tracy's relationship with Nick grew increasingly strained. As Rob Reiner's adopted daughter, she sensed Nick's jealousy and suspicion. He believed she was trusted more, especially when money was discussed. Resentment deepened. Insecurity hardened. The weight of Rob Reiner's legacy loomed over Nick like a constant reminder of inadequacy. Then came the night of December 13, 2025. Rob and Michelle attended Conan O'Brien's annual Christmas party. Nick was there as well. Witnesses later said he appeared detached, restless, and unfocused. He asked repetitive questions and struggled to engage socially. At some point during the evening, a heated argument erupted between Nick and his father. Details were never publicly disclosed, but those present said the tension was unmistakable. That night, Rob and Michelle returned home. No calls followed, no warnings came. The next afternoon, when Romy could not reach them, she went to the house. What she discovered shattered her world. She ran outside in panic. Police arrived around 3:40 p.m. Later that day, surveillance cameras captured Nick at a gas station near USC, miles from the family home. He appeared erratic, constantly looking over his shoulder. At 9:15 p.m., police detained Nick Reiner. 3 days later, he appeared in court, charged in connection with the deaths of his parents. His arraignment was scheduled for January 7, 2026. Tracy felt no relief, only devastation. The person they had spent years trying to save had destroyed the family. In her brief, Tracy spoke of her parents not as icons, but as unconditional love. Rob Reiner was steady and present. Michelle Singer Reiner was warmth itself, the heart of the home. Please like, share, and subscribe, and leave a comment below. Your voice helps these stories reach hearts that need to hear them. Thanks for watching.